black dress
Yeah.
with the tights underneath.
Yeah, I've been feeling some type of way about her. Wanna wife her, borderline, I don't really like her. Cause she like to play around and she knows she got it in turn. And make a kid not really wanted a bad bitch. Who knows she a bad bitch, worst type in the world if you ask me, shoot. Worst thing in the world is emotion. So I'm sitting here trying to go through the motions. Get along, but it'd be better if we bone. You don't understand, I don't need you, honey. Beat my dick like I don't mean money. She get around, puppy, fuck your homie. She text me, then she probably go and text Drake. Cause it be the ones, man, with the pretty face. I guess it be the moon man who cracked the case.
She wants to touch me, woo. She wants to love me, woo. She'll never leave me, woo.
Don't trust her, never trust her. Won't trust her, won't trust me.
She wants to touch me, woo. She wants to love me, woo. She'll never leave me, woo.
Don't trust her, never trust her. Won't trust her, won't trust me. X's on the back of your hands. Wash them in the bathroom to drink like the bands. And the set list you stole off the stage has red and purple lipstick all over the page. Bruises cover your arms, shaking in the fingers with a bottle in your palm. And the best is, no one knows who you are, just another girl alone at the bar.